networking for success. Probably the most important thing to help you be successful is the ability to network and the relationships. You need to become a master networker. Who you know is more important than what you know. You don't believe me? Think about the time that 20 people apply for a job, and the kid who gets the job happens to have a mom or dad that's friends with the boss. You think it was important that that friendship was there? Yeah. How do you set yourself apart? What makes you different? What gives you that advantage? That's the thing you always have to be thinking about. Okay, so here are some tips. If you are in school at the end of the year, I would ask each professor you have for a if you were in school at the end of the year, I would give each professor you have a handwritten thank you note. How many students do you think actually do that? Probably none. Especially you guys. You guys don't write. My generation, we had to write. There weren't computers, right? Most of your friends have probably never given a handwritten thank you note to anybody. Imagine if you're in a class with 300 students, and at the end of the thing, you walk up and you said, Dr. Bill, thank you so much, and gave me a thank you note. You think I'd remember that? Yeah, I would. And by the way, when you're applying to college and you want a letter of reference, do you think I'm going to be happy to give you one? Absolutely. Okay? Establish relationships. Sign it clearly. Write your name. If you're going to do a fancy signature, that's cool. I think you could actually even just, print it out on your computer, write your name underneath, and then sign over it. That's even better. Okay? When appropriate, ask for letters of recommendation. And this sounds weird, but offer to write them. And I'll tell you why. I probably have 50 to 60 students a year that want me to write a letter of recommendation. A, it's a lot of work. B, you know you better than I know you. So if you're applying for a job, you should know exactly what they want. I would like you to write the letter pointing out all the strengths and everything that you think you're going to offer to them, and then I'll just personalize it. It makes it, instead of it being a half hour or a 1 hour job for me, it takes 5 minutes, and it does the same thing. Now, if I don't want to write it, I'll just say, no, I'll do it. But, I'd be happy to write you a letter. I don't even know you. I just know you're one of Paula's girls, and I love Paula. So I would do it because of that. And I would probably, honestly, if you asked me to write you a letter, I would call Paula and say, hey, Paula, tell me about, Hannah, and let me know what she's like. And if Paula says, oh, she's amazing, then I'll do it. And if she says, oh, she's a nightmare, she's a train wreck, I'd be, oh, you know what, I don't think I could write a letter. But, that's the way I do it. When I wanted to get that position in Switzerland, I had 30 of my teachers in dental school write me letters of recommendation. I went to every professor that I had for the 3 years I was in dental school and had them write me a note, or I wrote it for them. I was the only guy applying to that program that not only had 30 letters, but also showed up in the guy's clinic. He had to hire me. He had to, right? Keep all contacts. You guys, how many of you, be honest, back up your computers regularly? Please do it. My poor daughter, Anna, had her car broken into. Somebody stole her computer, and maybe like a quarter of the research she was doing had been backed up on the cloud. The rest, lost. My assistant, Nicole, backs everything I have up every Monday. Every Monday. So if ever anything horrible happened, at least I would only lose a few days. So please, just get in the habit. I mean, you don't have to do it every Monday or maybe the first of every month or whatever, but literally make yourself a schedule. Start backing up all your contacts, okay? Also, get my app Forgot You. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It will keep a record of all your contacts for you. Keeping contacts is really, really important. The reason I invented Forgot You is I'll go out and I'll meet people and, okay, Bethany, you know, if I meet Bethany and I spell her name the wrong way, it's not going to come up on my phone, right? So I may never be able to reach her again. But I know I met her at UCLA, so I just go to Forgot You. I put in UCLA, boom, she pops up. Or I know I met her at LEAP, and I know that LEAP is the 22nd to the 28th. Boom, it pops up. Or your phone gets stolen and some of your stuff isn't on the cloud. We have a backup, so we can restore all your contacts for you for free. So use Forgot You. It's a really great app. Stay in touch. How do you do that? Businesses do it with newsletters, Christmas cards. I send out 600 Christmas cards every year. Yeah, 600, you know. And I just stay in touch with people. I mean, even if all I do is send a Christmas card once a year, that's okay. You know, holiday card, whatever. But I do it. You know, my poor daughters, I make them take a picture every year. Sometimes I have to take them kicking and screaming to the photo session, but we do it. I've been doing it since they were born, and I have it all in a really cool album, you know, from the very first year all the way up to now. But, you know, stay in touch with people. Social media, you know, I grew up without it. Do you want to know something? This is so cool. My dorm room was 5 flights up in Sproul Hall, right here. Literally 5 flights up. I walked up and down those stairs there every day for 4 years when I was a student here. When I was a student at UCLA, we didn't have computers. We didn't even have electric typewriters. So let's say you were typing a paper and you like missed a word or a sentence in the first like page, you would have to retype all 10 pages. It wasn't like you could like, you know, correct it. You had to retype everything. It was horrible. It was horrible. So social media is amazing, and it's a really great way to stay in touch with people. It's a way to meet new people. It's a way to find people who have the same kinds of interests that you have. Use it. If people don't know about you, they can't buy from you, right? When you start a business, you can have the greatest widget in the world. Does anybody know what a widget is? It's a thing. When you're in business school and they're teaching you how to sell things, they just call them widgets, okay? You can have the greatest widget in the world, but if nobody knows about it, they're not going to buy it, right? So people need to know about you. And we told you this 1,000 times. This should be on your top 20. Successful people do the things that unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. I attribute a lot of my success to that. A lot. You know, like I said, I was not born to be on TV. I mean, some people are. I wasn't, you know. But I learned it. I learned it because I knew it was important. Our sales... When I started on Extreme Makeover, our sales were at about $75 million a year. The first year we were in business, we did $2 million, $4 million, $8 million, $16 million. And we just kept doubling. And then we just plateaued at $75 million. And we couldn't break that barrier. Why? Crest white strips, other whitening product. We couldn't break that barrier. When ABC called me and offered me to be on Extreme Makeover, not only was it one of the first reality shows, they had no idea where this whole thing was going to go. And, you know, the guys that came and listened to the thing we did with Discus Dental, you know, I was the only person on that show that didn't get paid. Everybody else got paid. The doctors, the weight trainers, the hairs, everybody got paid but me. And I did it because I knew the exposure would be great. And when I watched myself on TV, I wanted to crawl in a hole and hide. I was beyond awful. Think of the worst TV host. I was worse. I was so bad that my mother's mother was Grandma Faye. She was this tall. She was the sweetest little thing you've ever seen. She never said a bad thing in her life. When I asked Grandma Faye how I looked on TV, you know what she said? Very skinny. I'm like, Grandma, that's the best you can do? Yes. I looked like a deer in headlights. But I knew if I could learn that, it would be awesome. That year, our first year on Extreme Makeover, our sales went from $75 million to $101 million. The next year from 101 to 135. The next year from 135 to 176. And by the fourth year, we were over $200 million a year in sales. Because I had a team. I was on TV. I was getting exposure for the company. And then Robert was taking that and just blowing it up. We were in every dental journal. We were everywhere. Everywhere you looked, we were there. There was no way you could be a dentist and not know Discus Dental, not know Zoom, not know Bill Dorfman. There's no way. He had a whole marketing team out there. We spent tens of thousands of dollars a month to make sure people knew who we were, knew we were the #1 product. You know, it takes work. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes work. But it worked. It worked. And we worked really hard.